Before the touchdowns and the fame, there was Montrose, Georgia, a dot on the map with more fields than streets and more faith than opportunity. It's where Demaryius Thomas learned that nothing was ever given. You had to run for it. He was raised mostly by his uncle and aunt after his mother and grandmother were sent to prison when he was 11. That kind of loss changes a kid. It either breaks you or it hardens something inside of you. For Demaryius Thomas, it did both. He grew up quiet, polite, serious. Up before sunrise to help with the chores, in the weight room before school, and on the football field until the sun disappeared behind the pines. His teammates called him Bebe. He didn't talk much, but when the ball went up, it always seemed to come down in his hands. Every route was a chance to leave something behind. The pain, the loneliness, the noise. Football wasn't just a hobby, it was a way out. By the time college scouts found him in Montrose, they saw more than numbers. They saw resilience. They saw calm. They saw a young man who had already carried more than most professionals ever would. Georgia Tech offered him a scholarship, and he took it. A ticket from the red dirt to the bright lights. But the small-town gravity never really left him. It stayed in his stride, in his patience, in the way he handled success. Years later, when Topps printed his 2010 rookie card, number 275, they caught him at full extension, reaching for a football against a bright sky. That image became more than cardboard. It became a snapshot of everything he had ever fought for. A kid from Montrose, still reaching, still believing, and finally touching the dream he had been chasing his entire life. At Georgia Tech, Demaryius Thomas learned to turn that raw talent into precision. He played in a run-heavy triple-option offense, the kind that doesn't give receivers many chances. But when the ball finally came his way, he made every one count. Big, strong, and unshakably calm. He wasn't just another college athlete. He was a mismatch no one could solve. Cornerbacks bounced off him. Safeties misjudged the angle. He caught passes in traffic that looked impossible and made it look routine. Behind that quiet personality was an intensity that teammates never forgot. He didn't brag, he just worked. He finished practice and stayed behind to run extra routes. Didn't head to class like it was nothing. By his junior year, scouts started whispering. Some said he was too raw, that Tech's offense hid his full potential. Others said it didn't matter. You can't teach hands or a stride that smooth. When the 2010 draft arrived, Thomas waited with his family in Georgia. Cameras weren't rolling when the phone rang. The Denver Broncos were on the clock. Pick number 22. They could have taken Des Bryant. Instead, they chose Demaryius Thomas. In that instant, everything from Montrose to Atlanta felt connected. The hayfields, the empty gyms, the nights spent believing that he had to be more, all funneled into that call. The rookie card came soon after. Topps number 275, a photograph of a man mid-flight, unaware that the air beneath him would soon belong to history. Demaryius Thomas's rookie season started slow. Injuries kept him off the field and whispers started. Can he stay healthy? Was Denver wrong? He didn't answer with words. He waited, learned, and recovered. And when his chance finally came, he made sure nobody forgot his name. January 8th, 2012, AFC wildcard round. Broncos versus Steelers. Overtime. Tim Tebow under center. First play. A slant across the middle. Thomas catches it in stride. One stiff arm, one burst, and suddenly, the field is open. 80 yards later, he's in the end zone. Game over. The stadium explodes. The image becomes legend. Thomas sprinting, arms out, crowd roaring, Tebow chasing behind him. That moment rewrote everything overnight. Bebe was no longer the quiet kid from Montrose. He was the hero of Mile High. People forget what came after. The hours he stayed on the field, signing autographs for fans who couldn't stop screaming his name. He didn't rush it. He never did. That play wasn't luck. It was timing, patience, years of waiting for the right pass. For Denver, it was deliverance. For Demaryius, it was validation. Proof that pain, the discipline, the quiet belief had led him exactly here. The rookie card, Topps number 275, suddenly meant something different. It wasn't just a picture of potential anymore. It was prophecy fulfilled. From that night on, the Broncos knew they had more than just a wide receiver. They had a game breaker, a leader, a man whose story was just starting to unfold under the brightest lights. When Peyton Manning came to Denver, everything changed. For the city, for the franchise, and especially for Demaryius Thomas. Manning needed precision, timing, receivers who could think like quarterbacks, and in Thomas, he found the perfect partner. For 4 straight seasons, they were unstoppable. Route after route, connection after connection. Thomas turned slants into symphonies. He wasn't the loudest voice in the room, but on Sundays, he spoke louder than anyone. From 2012 to 2015, he averaged over 1,400 yards per season. He broke franchise records, made 5 straight Pro Bowls, and caught passes that looked like they were drawn by engineers. But behind every highlight was work few people saw. Early film sessions, late-night lifts, the quiet hunger that carried him from Montrose to Denver. His breakout culminated in Super Bowl 50. The Broncos' defense carried the day, but Thomas played through double teams and pain, the unglamorous parts of greatness. The championship ring wasn't just about victory, it was closure, proof that the journey from the red dirt to confetti was complete. The Topps rookie card, now 5 years old, felt prophetic again. The kid frozen in midair finally landed on top of the football world. At his peak, Demaryius Thomas was everything a receiver could be. Reliable, fearless, graceful. But more than that, he was steady. A constant in a game built on chaos. And in those years, Denver didn't just have a superstar. They had an example. Nothing in football lasts forever. Bodies wear down, rosters turn over, and even the brightest stars start to fade. For Demaryius Thomas, the shift came quietly. Nagging injuries, new quarterbacks, changing schemes. The Broncos began rebuilding, and suddenly the face of the franchise was on the trade block. In 2018, after 8 seasons, Denver traded him to Houston. He thanked the city, the fans, and the team that had become his family. And then he got on a plane. No drama, no complaints, just class. The Texans' jersey looked strange at first, the orange replaced by deep steel blue. But he kept working, kept smiling. He caught passes, mentored younger players, and tried to fit in wherever he landed. Then came the injury, a torn Achilles that ended his season, and eventually his time as the player he once was. The body that had carried him through every route, every hit, every miracle catch had finally given out. But even as the game moved on, the respect never faded. Coaches still called him one of the good ones. Players still talked about his leadership. Fans still wore number 88. The Topps rookie card, once a symbol of youth, now looked different, a relic of glory days, but also a reminder that time moves faster than anyone expects. Demaryius Thomas was never bitter. He lived the dream, and even as the lights dimmed, he still stayed the same, gracious, grounded, and grateful. In December 2021, the news broke. Demaryius Thomas had passed away, 33 years old, gone far too soon. For fans, it didn't feel real. How could someone who always looked indestructible, that frame, that smile, that joy, be gone? Tributes poured in from everywhere. Peyton Manning called him a brother. Von Miller said he was the best teammate he'd ever had. The Broncos painted his number 88 on the field. Fans left flowers, jerseys, and yes, trading cards outside the stadium gates. That 2010 Topps rookie card started showing up again, shared online, taped to walls, held in the stands. It wasn't about collecting anymore. It was about remembering. He'd been more than just a football player. He'd been proof that kindness and humility could survive in a ruthless business. He carried himself in the same way from Montrose to the Super Bowl, head down, heart open, never needing a spotlight to validate who he was. When the team honored him that Sunday, there was a silence before kickoff, a full stadium holding its breath. And in that silence, you could feel what he'd left behind. Love, laughter, and the unspoken reminder to appreciate every moment we're given. Demaryius Thomas was gone, but his story, the rise, the reach, the grace, had already outlived him. Legends don't fade, they echo. For Demaryius Thomas, the echo lives in the people who watched him play and the way he made them feel. He was never just about stats or trophies. He was about presence. He made the impossible catches seem ordinary and made humility look heroic. In Denver, his number 88 became shorthand for reliability. Parents told their kids, work like DT. Players still talk about his quiet encouragement, the hand on his shoulder after a bad play, and the grin that said, we'll get the next one. His story didn't end with tragedy. It ends with gratitude for the joy he brought, the example he set, and the lives he touched far beyond the field. That 2010 Topps rookie card, number 275, still circulates through the hands of auctions and children that have heard the legend of DT. Corners worn, gloss fading, but the image endures. Demaryius Thomas, airborne, eyes locked on a football, frozen at the height of his reach. It's more than a collector's item. It's a symbol, a reminder that greatness isn't about noise or headlines. It's about how far you're willing to stretch, how much belief you can hold when the world tells you to let go. From Montrose to Mile High, from the dirt roads to the Hall of Fame conversations, Demaryius Thomas's legacy isn't measured in yards, it's measured in hearts. And just like that card, his story will always hover midair, timeless, untouchable, and forever reaching for something higher.